is probably my most anticipated film of 2016, but also my most anticipated movie of the next 5 years. I've been waiting for this movie ever since it got first announced at Comic-Con back in 2013. And not to mention that there's many things that Batman vs. Superman has going for it. It's got Ben Affleck as Batman.
Pretty good.
The next 5 years. I've been waiting for this movie ever since it got first announced at Comic-Con back in 2013. And not to mention that there's many things that Batman vs. Superman has going for it. It's got Ben Affleck as Batman.
Pretty good.
It's got like every influence from The Dark Knight Returns, which is one of my all-time favorite Batman stories. It's also the start-off point for DC Cinematic Universe, and as a big fan of DC, I'm really pumped for this movie, since I know Brock and Mitchell are huge fans of Christopher Nolan's Dark Knight trilogy.
Yeah, and I think we all at least liked Man. I love Man of Steel. I think you guys.
I liked it.
Yeah, I think we all were like, it's good, you know, not a shitty Superman movie like the old.
Not a terrible one.
Yeah.
And then there's this movie.
Yeah.
It wasn't no damn good.
Should have. Well, no, it was good, but like I wanted it to be amazing, and it wasn't. So I was disappointed.
Okay, let's start off by saying the things we like about it, because that'll take like a minute.
Can I just say my general thoughts before we talk about what we liked?
What you liked is your general thoughts. So what did you like?
What you like?
Ben Affleck as Batman. Okay, Ben Affleck as Bruce Wayne.
was
Batman.
great.
He was the best part of the whole movie.
And not to mention the death of the wings that they do at the
Yeah,
front.
it was so cool. Like the Martha, and like the
gun
explodes.
It's for me probably the best looking.
Spoilers, by the way. Spoilers.
But yeah, because to me the reason why I'm gonna say right now the way that they did the Death of the Waynes in this movie is probably in my eyes the best incarnation of the Death of the Waynes we've seen, because it feels the most like the comic come to life, and like when the pearls are flying out like the parents' dead bodies, we see it feels more like this this tragic piece of art come to life, and I love that. And to me, it was handled beautifully. And the other great scene where I was really invested was the scene in Metropolis where we see Metropolis getting destroyed, and Bruce is running around seeing all the carnage, and he saves this little girl, and he's just staring Superman down while he's fighting Zod, just looking pissed.
Yeah, that was perfectly done. Everything was just falling.
The first half hour was good, and then the more things played out, you realize kind of, oh, so this is all we're getting, and it wasn't that.
That's
great.
okay. That's not true. Like
Brock, it was okay.
No, it's a disappointing movie.
Let's just say
Batman vs. Superman blows.
That's not true.
Okay, it has like 25 minutes of stuff that you actually love. It has
15.
It has an extra half hour of stuff you can stand, and then the other hour 35 is just bad scenes.
Are you kidding? All the actors are great.
Lex Luthor's
Even
terrible.
Jesse Eisenberg.
Lex
I'm not
Luthor's
the only one
Jesse
who
Eisenberg's Lex
he's
Luthor
actually
can
good.
go to hell.
How's he? What's good about him?
He's
The
eccentric.
movie-
He's different. He's high energy. He's
Just
smart.
because he plays basketball
ridiculous.
doesn't mean he's smart. And just
Yeah,
because he's
no, because how
He's
what about
freaking
whole, like,
Moriarty
you're
from
insane.
Sherlock.
That's a compliment. That's literally a compliment.
Yeah, but he's
a rip-off.
basically being
He's a rip-off.
he's being a more cartoony version of him, except.
Or how about all the stuff with him? And they established real hate with him. When
Okay.
like he's crying because his mom's like he's throwing pictures out. His eyes are really turned red.
Okay,
He's just
so-
tossing the pictures
So
out.
what we liked.
I
to
didn't
sum up-
get
to
to
sum
say
up-
what I liked.
You liked the whole movie. There's
You
no
liked
whole
it.
movie.
You liked
I liked
the
it.
movie.
I loved it. Well, no, I liked it a lot. It was still
So,
like kind of a
you can't say
mess
love
story-wise,
this
but I
movie.
liked
It's
it
a
a lot
bad movie.
up until like the Batman
freaking
stuff.
terrible.
And the Batman-Superman fight ended great, but that it ended, and then we just had like a 45-minute Justice League movie. So we only really got like an hour and a half or so. No, like it was probably an hour and a half of like Batman versus Superman, and then like another hour of just Justice League.
Well, the first kind
it
of
wasn't like you felt like it was getting interrupted. It just ended. It was Justice League. Go.
Okay, so the first part of the movie was, getting introduced to Bruce Wayne, getting introduced to, like, bringing the... I thought the part where they both get brought together is cool until, woo-hoo, when I hit this guy, this big guy, Lex Luthor came in and kind of had to come in and ruin the whole scene. He came in and he ruined it. I've never read a comic book in my life, and I'm smart enough to know that. That was terrible. That was bad. He had a bad job.
No,
he had a bad movie.
he broke the tension.
He ruined this.
Break you. Boy.
I'm sorry, but for a movie that's trying to be as dark and grim as possible, a character like this just feels really out of place.
Really?
Oh,
So you say-
hey. We were talking about the things we liked, and we didn't bring up Batman versus Superman. We didn't bring up the actual fight.
Wait,
the
wait.
actual scene.
Alfred
Alfred
was
also
great.
so
Jeremy
good.
Irons.
He was funny.
Perry White was-
He was
okay.
Oh, Perry White was funny too. You guys can't say there were jokes in this movie.
Okay, Perry White was really
All
good.
the stuff with the Daily Planet, how he was like the Clark Kent taking on the Batman, that was great because that brought him the philosophical.
Even though I don't know, I don't think there was Superman had any good reason to hate Batman.
Yeah.
What do you
Yeah,
mean?
no.
He literally was just shitting on civil rights, and then he had to go after him.
No, he
because
does
of
what
his mom.
he does what Superman does. Superman kills more people.
He
Yeah,
doesn't
exactly.
kill people.
Remember the
though.
opening scene where he like
He
punches
did
that
kill
guy
that
through the...
guy.
Speaking of
Yes, he
killing
did.
people, Batman kills at least like 100 people.
Yeah,
Oh
that's
my
bad.
God,
I don't know why they did that.
Superman. This Batman. You know how like Batman in the comics and like the Arkham games and the Nolan trilogy has a strict code about how he refuses to kill, so he won't be like.
He has a machine gun on his Batwing that he just mows down people.
Yeah,
Oh.
first, you know what happened is like the first thing I was like, okay, maybe he's just breaking up the car. Like he flips, that's just hurting them. Like there was
No, he
ways.
flips
shut-
on-
shh. There was ways to make it seem like okay, he's just hurting them. He's just pushing the limits. But then there's like that part where he's like saving Martha, whatever the Clark, and like it's all great. And like Superman's
Kent.
mom, yeah, Kent, sorry,
Kent.
okay, but that's all great. And then like he's just like,
knows what he's
oh
talking
yeah,
about.
yo. Like
Oh,
the guy's like,
yeah,
I'm gonna
yo.
kill you.
By Neo
And, like
from the
he literally
Matrix.
shoots a guy's like tank and blows him up. It's like okay, no, he's just openly killing you. And if they like, if it would have been at least a little. It wouldn't have been good, but it would have been at least a little bit better if they just went in and addressed it. They're like oh, like he kills people
Yeah.
because he's gone so far, and he's like, if you're like being a criminal, you might as well die, like because all the horrible things that have happened has pushed him to that limit. But they don't address it. They just act like it's
Yeah,
a
I
normal thing.
The way this movie can best be described is like a mess. Everything.
It's,
There's a lot of
introduces-
great lines though.
It
But there's too
introduces-
many things.
It's actually a pretty terrible script, but it brings up a lot of like interesting
just the
plot
guys-
points and a lot of interesting problems.
That are
But
never
the
explained.
entire second half of this movie doesn't explain properly or doesn't answer correctly in any way.
Well,
Okay.
all the stuff with the senator and then, like that great conversation, like the.
But that's we'll bring that up.
the
Okay, the
like,
first 30
it was
minutes was a good.
intense.
Had a lot of great political conversations about people talking about Superman and if Superman was needed and if Superman was wanted. And the ending to that was when Lex Luthor blew up the one place with the granny's peach tea, which was the best scene, maybe the best scene in the movie. But
what about
after that
the best-
happened, I said one of. After that happened, they completely forgot about the philosophical side of it, and they literally ended up fighting because Lex Luthor forced them to, not because they wanted to fight each
No,
other,
that
which
was
kind
just
of
to
ruins
build it up.
it.
It was that big exciting incident.
No,
And
you're
here's my
wrong.
other
You're
big
wrong.
problem is that
Keep being wrong
Batman
in
and
my
Superman
videos.
in the comics are two very different characters.
shit,
One
And they
is an
established that in
optimistic,
this
simple.
movie.
No.
They're basically both dark and brooding.
And
Really?
I think the worst thing that kind of ruined a lot of this movie was all the Justice League stuff. Even though the Justice
There
even
wasn't a
though-
lot of
Hey,
Justice League
hey.
setup, and then there was then it was
Excuse me.
all Justice
Hillary,
League
I'm
setup.
talking. Hillary, I'm talking.
Oh, Birdie reference. Birdie reference.
Okay, so
You could tell.
what happened is he was saying like they had the scenes were pretty cool. Like the Flash scene was cool. The Flashpoint actual nightmare scene was my favorite scene in the entire movie. But they didn't really like the Flash scene. That one actually
Rose
made
is the
sense
king,
in a
bro.
nightmare.
Rose
In a
is the king,
nightmare,
bro.
well, isn't he? Isn't he? But yeah. But anyway, the ones where Wonder Woman opens up an email sent to her by Bruce Wayne. Which why wouldn't they just show the Bruce Wayne seeing it?
Did you know that?
And they set up when she opens up the email, it's 4 logos. The people at LexCorp designed logos.
Yeah,
for
that
the
was weird,
email.
but I don't think that really does that really destroy the movie that they made
It's a
it logo?
complete
No,
waste of a scene.
It's just
It
no.
was
The
pointless.
scenes were the Ezra Miller one was cool. I liked the Cyborg one. The Aquaman one was kind of awkward.
What the
He just
fuck
kind
was
of
that?
floated his stuff
Okay,
to
we'll
screen.
I'll do the Aquaman one right now. If that's the case.
All right.
Yeah.
Wait, I'll do the cyborg one. Here, I
Okay,
gotta
don't-
use this
don't do the
box.
Cyborg one. Don't
Hey,
do the
here, I gotta use this
Okay.
box. I'm gonna bring it to life.
That was the Aquaman scene was super awkward.
Yeah, the other two I liked though. The other two I liked. And Wonder Woman was great.
Actually, no. What I'll say is Ezra Miller's 2 cameos were great. Like I can't wait to see
I didn't
Ezra
see that
Miller
he was
flash.
Ezra Miller in the first one. It didn't look like him at all.
What? No, I haven't
Like
seen
the first
it. Even
thing
though
you
I
showed was
haven't
him,
really
it was
been
the
introduced
Flash.
to Ezra Miller, so I don't
because
really
you don't know what's going on, Brock. Just love every movie.
Okay. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna go back to the screenplay because you guys both said it's terrible. It's not terrible. It's just not like structurally sound. There's a lot of great dialogue.
There's a lot of terrible. What about the scene where
was like
Superman decides to give up after the 15 minutes or so after that happens, or where the movie's like, oh yeah, this is why no one likes this movie, because Superman just has the most terrible talk with Lois, where it's just them trading like one-liners of like, well maybe I can't.
You can't, Superman. You can't.
No, like that was like
bad
them
lines.
literally like optimism versus
A
skepticism.
7-year-old could have written better lines of dialogue.
No, that was good.
With crayons.
Yeah, it's like the fact that how
it was like them contemplating it, or like that whole thing. The scene with
Bro,
Kevin
you keep
Costner, he
talking
sucks in
half.
everything.
What does that have to do?
Hold on,
That was
talk
a
about the
bad
Kevin
scene.
Costner one.
I'm happy you brought this up. Why? The whole thing that brought Superman back was like, well, we don't know how to do anything real, so let's just bring Kevin Costner back. To make some
I
terrible
know, that was
scenes.
weird.
That was in his
made no
mind, though.
sense.
That
Yeah,
was him
but why-
contemplating it.
I know, but like that was such a cheesy way to bring Superman
that's a major
back.
influence in his life, though. His dad.
Yeah,
That's
but
what
what
he
did that
talks
scene?
about.
What did that?
Mitchell,
Okay,
if you're a fan of this, Brock, if you're a fan of this movie,
I'm
I
a
have
huge
one
fan. It's
thing
still
to
a
ask you.
disappointment. I'm just
Why the
saying
hell
why doesn't
does
shit.
Lex Luthor hate Superman?
because Lex Luthor is a manifestation of all of his Superman is a manifestation of all of Lex
big
Luthor's
words.
problems.
You know,
No,
what the fuck you talking
I'm
about?
just using big words because I don't think you'll understand them. But I'm just kidding. But literally, like the whole thing with his dad being like a huge, like massive, like powerful, like force that no one can really, that he had no control over.
His
That's
dad
what he
beat
sees
him
through
when he was
Superman.
little.
Yeah, and that's what he sees in Superman. Something he can't control and he doesn't want to deal with. That's what he doesn't want to have to.
That's all great, but
it-
the movie
it's
shows
more
nothing.
abstract.
The movie doesn't show
It
that.
doesn't walk you through it. It shows like this is like already an established world
I
that just
know.
puts you in rather
You're
holds your
doesn't get
hand
it. He
and
doesn't
agrees
get
with
it.
it.
He
Oh,
doesn't get it.
He doesn't get it because I haven't read like 50 comic books.
Oh man.
Oh, that's not the.
By the way,
qualifying.
Maybe you should write Batman v Superman because you made up a character that Lex Luthor wasn't. It sounded way better. But he was clearly not that. He was a basketball playing Greek god referencing
wait,
weird.
he's
Okay,
not
you know what
Lex
I'll say?
Luthor.
You know what I'll say
Lex
about
Jr.
You know what I'll say about Lex
He's
Luthor?
Lex
The scene where
His
he was
lines were
making a
good.
speech is a perfect.
I will admit that scene was awkward.
No,
He's
that.
like,
The scene where he's
Lex
making a
Luthor
speech
just shows why he
which
doesn't
just
like
showed
it.
everything about that, like, literally summed up his character. It was a couple, like, oh, wow, that's actually a really good line. It's a really good point. I liked how he even said that. And then he says something, or how he says it is awkward, which makes everything he says just be like, that could sound cool, but I don't get it. Like, everything about him was just a little bit off, so nothing worked.
To me,
You
I'll
know
tell
what,
you
the
awkward
great
character.
lines, like the red capes are coming, or like
It
devils
just
don't come
sounded
from
too-
hell beneath us. They
It's
come from
too-
the sky.
That was a pretty good scene.
The
but
Doomsday line was just cheesy.
every line he
No, your
has
Doomsday,
just
that was
sounds
cool,
a little bit off.
But it was
Even
also,
though he
I was
has
like,
some
yo,
good
I don't
lines.
really need Doomsday in this movie. But also the way Doomsday was created was really stupid.
Even though we're ripping
Yeah.
on him a lot, I'll say that Lex Luthor was like he actually had a couple of decent moments, and he wasn't awful, but it just everything he said,
I
just
hate him.
everything kind of sounded like that sounds a little off.
What about the whole the dark side illusion at the end? That's the type of thing we. That's
Yeah,
cool.
like, he took that.
That's
too,
cool
he
with the
took it
Justice
too
League.
far.
That's the Justice League setup I want. I didn't want like a fucking hour-long Justice League. Like, literally, an hour of this movie is pretty much Justice League Part 1.
Darkseid's
Yeah,
way
the
too
last
early.
hour.
Okay, it
I
doesn't
don't
matter
think
when they
Darkseid's
play
too
Darkseid.
early.
It's just because you think it's the comic. It has to be
Oh.
exactly like Marvel.
I don't think that
It
has
was
to.
like
I
Thanos.
think they can bring in Darkseid because who else do they bring? Nick, who else do they bring in?
Like I don't know, the White Martians.
Oh, the White Martian.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
how is that better?
How is that
better?
different too? Like different in the
they're,
sense
that's
of
not
villain.
better.
They put Loki's the best Thor villain, but they put him in the first one.
Yeah, but-
Joker's the best Batman villain. They put him in Dark Knight, the second movie of the trilogy.
Yeah,
If he's
to be
the
honest,
best
I
one.
don't
He has
know.
to be at the end.
I don't know about that, Nick. Like, I don't think the problem isn't the decisions that they made the plots go here. It's how they did the whole thing.
There was too
wait.
much. They just ended Batman. The fight though, we can all say the fight was great.
Fight was great up until to let Superman live, all because his mommy had the same
What?
name.
That's a
I
great
thought it was
moment.
okay. It was okay. I
That's
liked
an
how
amazing moment.
I liked how they brought the fact that their parents had the same name together
It
to
made
be like how
Superman
they.
feel human.
It didn't like make the rest of the movie like it didn't like be like, oh, that's why. And I think a
Next to
huge
the
problem
beginning,
with the
that's
last
why
hour.
Dad said Martha.
I think Lois Lane was probably even like a worse character in this movie than Lex
Thank
Luthor.
you.
Like
Last
she
half
was
hour,
so
she had no
bad.
Jack
She,
shit.
okay, hold on. She was good throughout most of the movie, but then there was a point. But then they didn't need her anymore.
Do you wanna know how much?
Hold on. Like Perry White, she just like Perry White. They used him in the movies until they didn't need to use him, and Lois Lane was important for Superman throughout the movie. But then there was a point where she had nothing more to contribute. So they should have cut her off, but they felt the need to drag her along because she's Lois Lane. So they just made her do random stuff
Yeah.
while
I
more
agree with
important
that.
things were
Yeah.
going
That's,
on.
that's what we're saying. We can agree on one thing that she was completely
Oh,
pointless.
I'll tell you
In
for
the
me,
last
two
half
really
hour,
stupid
so.
moments with Lois Lane is when, like, Lex Luthor pushes her off the building.
That was
and
good.
he's like,
No, because that got Superman there. That was a cool point.
but
Oh, you guys planning? 'Cause
Superman was
combined. You have to take me on. You can't come up with good enough points on your own.
No, and but Superman was already in the Arctic. And not to mention the only person who Superman saves in this movie is freaking Lois.
Really, the only person.
Yeah,
The entire world.
He
would
let
kill
Jimmy
Superman.
Olsen die.
I think everything about Superman leaving after the peach tea incident, like blow up thing, was the fact that for one he left for kind of no
Henry
reason.
Cavill nailed
He left.
that
Okay,
whole thing.
he left for kind of no reason.
He was
came
shocked that he
back
couldn't
for
find it 'cause
he
he's
came back
all-powerful
for
that he
kind
didn't
of no
find it.
reason, and then he literally comes back the exact time because Lex Luthor's like, "Oh, I'll push you off. I'll push you off a roof. Superman will grab you," and of course he'd catch it. Like that's so basic. Like, oh, I know
What do you
Superman will catch.
expect to happen?
This
Well,
Lois
obviously
Lane
she's
is
not
just
gonna
as
crash, she's
useless.
not
Superman. That's classic Superman.
Obviously, she's not going to hit the ground, but did you really have to do that?
Oh,
to make
wait, another really
No,
stupid
that's the
moment.
first thing to get him pissed
Lois
off at Lex
tries
Luthor,
to
and
get the
then build it up.
kryptonite spear.
Okay,
Yeah,
what?
see,
I
that
think-
was what I was saying
yeah.
before. Just getting her to do random,
Yeah,
pointless
that was
tasks
dumb.
just to keep
But I
her
think
relevant.
going back to Ben Affleck, who we didn't touch on, I think he could be. I think after his own solo Batman movie, he could be the best Batman if his own solo
That's-
movie's great. Or
It's
maybe
Christian
after Justice
Bale,
League.
man. Like, come on.
Yeah.
Christian
He could
Bale
be-
has 3 amazing movies.
Ben
Ben
Affleck,
Affleck has a good movie.
Did the warehouse scene was probably actually was my favorite scene. in the
Holy
movie. I
shit,
like-
the warehouse scene. The
Yeah.
action was. I mean, he killed the guy, at least one.
He stabbed the guy with a knife, but I didn't care.
I
It was
don't
too
think
cool.
he killed the guy when he stabbed him, but he definitely killed him when he blew him up.
I
That's the
I
last
think
guy.
I feel like the warehouse scene should
It was
have
like
happened
Arkham.
earlier. I think Zack Snyder, like his last 2 movies, this and Man of Steel, feel like the last whole hour has to be action when they can't separate the action throughout the movie.
No,
Yeah,
that's
there was
kind
a
of
lot
the
of
action throughout this movie.
This movie was way too. It was a huge, over-bloated movie that somehow couldn't.
It
handle
wasn't
all this different
overbloated.
plot holes.
until all the Justice League stuff.
Yeah, I
But
think
that being said, there was still a lot of like.
it could have been a
inconsistencies.
self-contained kind
Guys.
of flawed movie, but still good. But it turned into this giant bloated mess of a movie.
You guys want
Which-
to talk about Doomsday and his god awful
Speaking of a
cave
mess,
troll CG?
it doesn't make sense
His
how he
fight
got
wasn't
made.
that bad though.
It doesn't make sense. Like
Like,
I
his
know,
fight
how he got
was
made was
about as-
idiotic.
His fight was probably
Hmm.
one of the worst superhero final confrontations I've ever seen.
That's
so
wrong.
bad.
That is wrong.
His actually.
Well, and Wonder Woman in that fight was great.
I like to say Wonder Woman was cool. Wonder Woman was pretty
She
good
gets
in the
knocked
movie.
down, she
you know, for
smiles,
some,
But she
She's
did
flirting
not
with
need to
Bruce
be
Wayne.
there.
she didn't
Yes,
need to
she
be there,
no,
but
she,
for-
her being in the movie was fine. She wasn't overused. She wasn't underused.
Yeah, she wasn't a problem with everything that was wrong with that movie. She wasn't a problem.
Which is pretty surprising because of how messily the script was written. You could say, like, there was just so many things that were kind of left out or jammed in. Like, you can tell there was just a lot of great lines and a lot of great potential, but it just wasn't clean.
There were a couple.
And let me finish. There was a lot of great stuff, but it just wasn't there. But somehow Wonder Woman in the movie, in Batman versus Superman, wasn't really a problem at all. Like, she actually worked and was used
Yeah.
as much as she
I mean,
should.
she wasn't a problem, but I think a huge problem for this movie is they didn't just use the events of Man of Steel to bring on why people wouldn't like Superman.
No,
they
I
had
like
to,
that 'cause it
they had to
built it up.
create another issue where it was like,
Do you want to
I
know what
don't
that
think
press
that needs to
that
happen
whole
because
on.
the problem of that is that means that the whole debate between whether we should or shouldn't have Superman is
It's
built
completely
on
pointless.
It's built on Lex Luthor like setting up that problem. It's not because
Rather
people
than-
actually have a problem with it. It's because Lex Luthor made another situation.
Yeah, and my big thing about that is because I felt like the whole conference there should have been more about like the destruction of Metropolis.
Yeah,
But it
that's-
still
that
was,
would've
like, the
made-
wheelchair
it
guy
wasn't
was
though.
there. It
Yeah.
just was a pile-on.
He
It
was,
just
but
building and
it's-
building and
yeah,
building
but
until
this
it hit the
movie's the
fever point.
longest superhero movie ever because they added that part.
No,
to
it's
it,
the
which
longest superhero movie ever because they just tacked on Justice League Part 1. That's
they
a
did.
Oh, and
That
by the
is-
way, Superman dies in this movie.
Okay, if we're gonna talk about
The
that,
way
I'm gonna
they did
actually
it was
say
okay,
He
but-
died. It was. I'm thinking you just hated it because you hated the first 2 hours, and you're not gonna be like after this. You're gonna be like, no, I don't love this movie. I thought that was a
Because-
just let me
ballsy
finish.
move,
and I thought they did a good job doing it, and I thought it's a good setup for Justice League. And I like the fact how at his funeral, Ben Affleck and Gal Gadot, like Batman and Wonder Woman, are sitting there saying, we have to bring people
Love the
together.
two
And Ben
funerals.
Affleck's like, I just have a feeling because of that dream. That was actually a good setup scene. That's all we need. We didn't need to here's your obligatory setup email
Ugh.
and here's your obligatory videos. Like,
Or
thing
Jesse
is-
Eisenberg. It is so going.
No, that was fine.
but
the
okay,
thing is
that
that-
even a cool scene if it was just like I saw that there's people coming or whatever instead of and there's snot all over his
Yeah,
nose.
but
The thing is, the
Clean
big
your nose,
issue with
Eisenberg.
Superman dying, it's not, they
It's
executed
like
it
Froggy
fine.
Fresh or
They
whatever
did it
in that one
decent,
music video.
but the only problem with him
All
dying
over.
is they're not doing
Yeah,
Justice
exactly.
League
He's-
without him. They're not doing
Blood.
Justice League without him. So he's coming back. So him die, he's going to be back. So it didn't really have any emotional effect. And especially since he's the best Superman. I love Henry Cavill's Superman, but when he died, I felt nothing because I know he's coming back.
I mean, you knew he's coming back. They're not going to kill him off permanently.
And
Yeah,
here's
I mean,
my
if it was in
biggest,
Justice League,
my
there's a
biggest
little bit more
disappointment that because they killed him off, and now completely scraps any development that he could have gotten at the end, with him trying to recover from what he did in Man of Steel, and him trying to become Earth's savior, like the Superman we know and love. But instead of that, we got him
But he
brooding.
was a savior. You saw all the stuff like him saving the one person in New Mexico.
They kind of
What-
needed to. I don't know. I liked how killing him kind of made everyone be like, okay, we don't hate him because he died for all of us. I thought that was a decent way to end it, but I think
Another Jesus
everything.
reference.
I didn't like how everything ended as a result of it was all part of Lex's plan. By these really loose ideas of he wrote the notes and he somehow is weirdly set up.
Is
the thing
Lex
in the
Luthor
desert.
working for Darkseid now? Is he?
He's not. It's just I don't know. There were just things about the movie that didn't make any sense.
But see, in one hand, there's just a lot of stuff in the plot that they just didn't fully develop because they were trying to do too much. But it was cool how this was already a set up Batman universe, and they didn't really hold your hand to explain
Yeah,
the
I
whole
thought
thing.
everything
They could've slowed it
everything
down
that
to
happened.
do that.
I liked how the part where Batman's talking to he's talking to Alfred and he says, what did my family do? In the first generation, we were hunters.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, Batman wants to fight Superman. He's gearing up to fight, but Superman doesn't really want to fight. But he comes in saying, wait, now hold on. It's not. They're not fighting because of ideologies in the same way that
Yeah.
everyone's not arguing anymore.
Like in The
because
Dark
of real
Knight Returns,
ideologies.
because where they were fighting because they were polar opposites. Whereas Batman is someone who takes outside law, whereas Superman is someone who's
But they were arguing about ideologies.
They
the
were
entire
at the
movie.
beginning of the movie,
and then-
they followed
and then
through.
the
That's
next
what made
one,
it
the
all
dialogue
fall
between
to
Batman and
push it
Superman
through.
just becomes, "You think you're tough, Superman?"
Okay, no, those lines, because that's the way Batman imposes on people. Yelling simplicity, but all those short little sentences had a lot of meaning. You're not brave, men are brave. He's saying the idea of an all-powerful
Yeah, there were some
person,
cool lines
that
with
makes
Batman,
him weak,
but-
makes him not
Okay, we're not
strong.
saying it's a bad. It's a we're
The
not
stuff
saying
they
it's a
were-
terrible movie. It's not an awful movie.
I wish they
hate it.
used the lines from the Dark. It would have been cool if they used the lines from the Dark Knight Returns, but I can't sit there and say anything they said during that fight wasn't.
Yeah,
great.
that was actually probably one of the cooler fight scenes in a movie, in a super.
It was so awesome.
Yeah,
It was
man,
badass.
I'll say my favorite moment of that fight is when Batman, when Superman's getting ready to punch him and Batman just deflects him.
Yeah, I
but
think
the thing is that I didn't feel any real emotional investment because
Really?
I didn't know why they were really fighting because they were just kind of forced to
They
do it.
really obviously show why they're fighting.
Yeah, I think in the end, I think once you get past the fact that they were forced to fight, the emotion kind of comes out in the battle. But I thought it was a cool scene. I liked how Batman kicked the crap out of him and almost killed him.
It's where he's punching Superman, and Superman just kind of like it's slowly wearing off. So he just like his head just starts like
just
pushing
doesn't
back
care.
the fist.
Yeah, it was a good fight scene. I think the fight scene with Doomsday, I liked how they were working together to take him down, like they were becoming a Justice League.
Batman was flying. Batman mostly did nothing during that fight.
Well, what is Batman going to do? It's two gods versus like a super god.
He could have been.
And he's just a guy.
But it was like whatever.
Well, that's why he supplied the kryptonite to win. I don't know.
But that being said, I feel like Zack Snyder. I think him, Chris Taylor. Look, if they're just giving one story to tell with Justice League, I'm fine with them doing it. But I don't necessarily think Zack Snyder should do Justice League 2 because this is going to be like what the 6th comic book movie he's done.
It'll be
he's on his third.
It'll be if he does.
It'll be his 5th if he does part 2, and I don't think he should do part 2.
Well, it'll be his 4th in this universe, and no director does. Maybe Bryan Singer does, but Bryan Singer
had like a 10-year gap,
and he also made all of them great. Zack Snyder's already had kind of a miss out of this one. I don't think he needs to come back.
Straight. No, I think he should. Like he's doing Justice League because they're shooting it in 20 days and they've made a shit ton of money. So
they're shooting it in 20 days in total.
Yeah, instead of this being a great study on these two heroes and their ideologies, instead we got a shoehorned in adaptation of one of the most tragic moments in all comics, and let's set up the Justice League.
Look, they connected the two characters.
Okay, I think
you liked what I liked. Let's be buddies.
No, okay, but it proved that Superman was a person with feelings and a mom.
Are you done? Are we done?
Henry Cavill nailed that. He nailed the stuff with his daddy. Henry Cavill did a great job.
So to sum up, what we all have to...
Henry Cavill did a great job. Remember that scene when he stopped the Batmobile and he's like, the Bat is dead, bury it.
Okay.
You said that was a great line. You said he pulled it up great in the trailer. You just don't think he did it now because he didn't like the movie.
Okay,
yeah,
so
that was too quick.
No. You said, when you watched the trailer, you said, that's awesome. How is that moment not awesome in the movie?
Because, aside from that...
When he's like, the Bat is dead, bury it.
It was cool, but we don't know why.
Yeah, we don't know why.
What do you mean you don't know why? He was doing all the stuff that Daily
Glenn we're all wrong, and you're right.
Yeah, you're right. You know what? I am right.
This is just like...
Okay, wait,
it's still a disappointing movie.
Okay, so what we're going to say all in all is...
the fact that it's still like a 7 of 10.
Did we all like Batman?
Like a 2.
Yeah,
kind of.
So much rage. Like the whole... a great long monologue written by Chris Terrio.
Yeah,
was how he was
fantastic.
If there's even a 1% chance we gotta take this as an absolute certainty, that's Batman.
I thought there was
the paranoia of Batman. And Batman's old and he's paranoid and he's cynical.
The feeling of powerlessness making men cruel. That was the best.
That was great.
Yeah, that was one of the better moments.
Jeremy Irons.
I think half this, a good maybe half of. There's a lot of scenes that I really liked in this movie, but they're an equal amount of scenes that weren't good. I thought the dream sequence was one of Zack Snyder's best, directed, the way that it started out as this giant wide shot.
Yeah, this movie looked amazing.
I think
it just kind of disappointed me.
We liked it visually. We liked Batman. We even liked Superman as a character, even though he wasn't written well. But I think all in all, we thought the screenplay was a bit messy. There was way too many.
Jesse Eisenberg's Lex Luthor was basically him trying desperately to be like Andrew Scott's Moriarty, except without.
I think he was trying to be the opposite of the two superheroes. But they're both just stoic and not really expressing themselves.
And we didn't really like the Dawn of Justice part of it. We didn't like the whole setup. We didn't like how...
I hated how they shoehorned
it's not that they did it
death at
the
the
end. They just didn't need it. Actually, they went into it a lot, and I don't think this movie was too long, too, because I think if you got rid of the literally hour Dawn of Justice part of it, you could still put in, the part where Batman breaks into Lex Luthor's thing and steals the kryptonite. I bet that hopefully that's in the 3-hour version, because the 3-hour version of Watchmen is better than the real version. No, so I think that hopefully that's just, building on the character stuff that we didn't quite get as much in this movie. Just the stuff that kind of screwed with the plot. But more importantly, I think That, like, just, I've kind of lost my train of thought.
Yeah. Because the movie's such a mess.
Yeah,
I
I
trying
know.
to be fair, like, but I like this,
We're
but this, and this, wait, no, that's, you're getting
it
into
is a
the
mess.
movie like we all are.
Yeah, exactly.
That doesn't make
Our
any
review
sense.
is just as much of a mess as this movie is.
Okay,
Because of
hold
the movie.
on.
Not
What
because
was I
we
talking?
don't
I
make
had a
any
great
sense.
point, and now I can't remember what it is.
Because that's what this movie,
Exactly. This movie has great
is
ideas,
a great
but
point,
terrible
but
execution.
by the time you get an hour into the movie,
terrible
they forget
execution.
what they were talking about.
Yeah,
they forget
that's
everything,
not true.
and it just
No.
becomes a
Oh,
mindless,
yeah.
jumbled
If you
CGI.
cut out the
mess.
Dawn of Justice, you still could have done so, like Batman, like Superman could have beat Batman earlier, or like just like all the things you could have done, like explain, like kind of hint at how Batman's
movie
gonna beat him. But instead they just kind of throw on,
It
oh
feels
yeah, the
like they
Mega
could have
Batman.
easily fixed this
Oh yeah,
movie.
the grenades. You know, like it's just.
Yeah, don't you guys think this movie feels like a movie that could have been easily like a great movie?
Yeah, in
I
fact,
think that's the
like,
most
for
accurate
example,
thing
I
to
think
say.
David S. Goyer, when he wrote the original screenplay, got overwhelmed because I think they just put way too much on him. Because that's a
Shouldn't have. After he wrote Man
gonna
of
say
Steel,
right
why would
now-
they give him a screen? Like he did an okay job. Why would
he
they
did a
give?
good job with it.
he did an right job. It's just I felt like maybe they could have gave
that was
Chris
like the
Terrio the
DC movie that guy had done. Like, it's just the thing is, David S. Goyer's done so much of this that, like, he wrote Batman Begins, he wrote Man of Steel. He's great at
He's
this,
written
but he's
too
done
much.
it too
He's
much.
done it
Yeah,
like
exactly.
every actor, like everyone who does it so many times, they
Yeah.
either get tired of it or they become like a parody of themselves. They can't keep doing it.
Exactly,
Like Goyer
just
can.
like David Score has kind of become a parody of himself. with-
Yeah, well, not a parody, but just doing a bad job of it. And
Chris Terrio.
anyway,
Let's talk about. Do you think Zack Snyder should still do Justice League?
No.
I don't like. It's not that I don't want Zack Snyder or I don't want Chris Terrio. I don't want like the Zack Snyder, Chris Terrio kind of the whole environment of how they're making these movies. I don't really want, even though I like the actors they've cast. I even like the world they're starting to make. I don't really like the whole director, right? Like the whole group of people who are made. I think they just need some more help. I think. Even though hopefully Chris Terrio, he's not
Terrio's won an
rewriting this
Oscar
movie.
for writing.
He's starting it from scratch, and Zack Snyder, he can direct. If Zack Snyder got a good script, this would be a good.
Yeah,
story.
exactly.
Watchmen is a
But
brilliant story.
He has,
and if he has
way
a
too
brilliant
many
story, he
misses
can tell
for
it
me to
brilliantly.
trust him for
Yeah,
another
way too many
Watchmen.
misses. Zack Snyder has Sucker Punch. That's his bad movie. He wrote it. That proved he can't write. But he's not
And
writing
it
these
felt like he
movies.
wrote this movie too.
Yeah.
Really?
Well, Man of Steel.
Really?
Man of Steel's not. He hasn't made a great.
Man of Steel's a
DCU
great movie.
I don't know. I mean, his movies are great on visuals, and they don't have
But
a
they
lot
don't
of great emotion.
with the
Really.
exception of
Except
Watchmen.
Watchmen. And
Because
also
Watchmen was
300
written
simple
for
story,
it.
but it's great. What do you mean it's written for? That's like saying Saving Private Ryan's great, but Spielberg did
It's not
nothing
based
because
off
it's
a
written
book.
for him.
It's not based off a book.
It's written for every
It's written-
director who doesn't write has his movies
You have a
written
point.
for
Yeah,
him.
but
That's how it
Watchmen's different
works.
because Watchmen literally is frame for frame the comic book, though.
That's the point.
Isn't
Actually,
it?
they changed
Isn't
the
it?
ending.
Okay, I know
They
they
changed
changed the ending, and they did. Okay,
But that
I'll give
movie
you.
balances a huge wealth of
I'll give you that.
characters.
He had
And
one-
that's a lot on the
okay.
director. He got the best
But
out of
why-
all
then
of
why
I
couldn't
think
he
he
do
does
it? Why
I
can't-
think
why
he
couldn't
could
you do it
this
in
movie.
Batman
The
vs
characters were
Superman?
great in this movie.
No, they weren't.
It's just
The
the
film
script
was dog
was
shit.
too
The love
much.
interest was useless.
Okay.
The
Okay.
relationship
Clark
between
and
our
Lois
two main
had good
characters.
chemistry. Batman and Superman worked together well.
Okay,
Bullshit.
Okay,
Wonder Woman
hey.
was great. You can't deny that.
Okay, Wonder Woman was
I-
good.
Jeremy Irons
But
was
she
great.
was
Batman was great.
Hey, so we're well over 30 minutes now.
This movie's
I think
making
we've
us
all
go nuts.
decided our kind of
We're going
final
insane
thoughts on
right
it.
now.
So let's give it a rating,
Of 10?
starting with Happy Brock over here. Let's start with Happy.
Okay,
Brock.
I'm just saying it's.
Give it a
I
rating.
liked it, but it's disappointing because it wasn't amazing. So I'll give it a 7 out of 10 because it's a good
Oh, you're
movie,
going out
but
of
it's
10?
not anywhere near as great as it should have.
Wait, how many?
Because
what
it
do
was
we
just
rate it under
overall a
Nicholas's
mess.
rating?
I
Nick,
thought-
what do you
what
use?
do you
Letters?
normally do?
All right.
Are
I
you
go
a letter?
with-
Wait, are you a letter,
Letter
grade
guy or a number
I'm a
guy?
letter
Numbers?
grade guy.
Letter-
I like
Okay, a letter grade.
Numbers are easier to do for me.
Yeah, so to me,
Okay,
I don't think it's as bad
What's
as
the
X-Men
number?
Origins, Fantastic Green
It's not
Lantern,
the
and
same
all that
fucking
stuff.
league as
But the
those.
problem is that
It's shit.
is that the writing in this
Yeah.
movie is terrible. It just feels more like
It's just a
it's just a watered down version of the Dark Knight Returns without being the Dark Knight Returns. The characters are either just poorly written
Inspired.
and underdeveloped, and it just feels like style over substance, and it's trying to set up for what's to come later rather than focusing on what's coming on right now, and kind of has the Batman vs Superman battle be an afterthought, and that to me is why I felt this movie was a big disappointment. I'm going to go into more detail in the later video, and that's why I'm going to give this movie a D+.
A D.
Are you kidding me?
That's
Are
okay.
you
So we
kidding?
got.
Hold on,
Wait,
hold
what
on.
you give? What if you had to give it a letter? To kind
A
of bring it
letter?
up? I think a 7 is a B- or a B.
I
It's a B.
think it's a B.
I don't
B-
know.
or B.
70%. So 70% is a B.
I think that's a B-. Yeah.
B-.
Okay, B-. I give
Rock's
it a B-.
gonna be
It's a solid B-.
He gives it a D+. I'm gonna say I thought there were some really good scenes in this movie. There were even a
D+.
couple great scenes, but they were and scenes that hey. There were scenes that were good in and of themselves, but if they like contributing to the plot, they didn't really like fit together well. So the scenes that were bad were really noticeable because they didn't stand out, didn't do anything. The acting was great except for Jesse Eisenberg, who kind of felt off no matter what he was saying, even if it was a good scene.
He was a disgrace to Lex Luthor.
And
Lex Luthor sucks. He's
and
boring.
the Justice League setup was brutal. Like the Justice League setup was kind of
brutal?
a little bit
Why?
blatant. It was
more obvious than.
So with all that said, I'm gonna have to give this movie a C+. I'm gonna have to with the C+. It's
one
not
letter
fresh.
grade off.
If I was on Rotten Tomatoes, which I will be soon,
It's fresh.
I hit it with a rotten. So it's a C+ on my part. And,
it's gonna make $1 billion. So
It's
Warner
gonna
Bros.
make
keep
yeah.
doing this
So did
stuff.
Transformers.
I'm only gonna say
It's better
so
than Transformers.
but it's
Come
no
on.
different.
It is okay. It's a lot better.
That's stupid.
it has
It's
better,
trying to be a
Transformers has
thinking
no
movie.
good. Transformers didn't try.
The thing
Okay.
about this between Transformers 4 is that this is trying to be more of a thinking movie, but it didn't work as a thinking movie.
Anyway,
because those
okay.
things were watered
So
down.
we've given you our thoughts.
They
That's
walk-
all we gotta say
they
about
walk
this
through it
movie.
like Captain America.
So subscribe to you're done. You explained how you thought this.
There's
not
a lot
that-
of little things wrong with a lot of movies. You don't go into them because they're
because they're good.
Yeah,
because
like,
we're
because
distracted
we're
from
good.
them.
things like
But
fucking
anyway-
Cap 2 watered down. Cap 2 is a better movie than Batman v Superman. I will say that right now. It's a better movie.
You're
Much
not
better.
gonna bring Captain. We're not gonna get out
I'm
of
just
this video.
saying. I'm
No,
just saying.
I'm ending this.
No,
I'm
no,
ending
you
this.
can leave. We have
I'm
to. Me and
ending
Nick need to
this.
finish this.
Good. I'm finishing. You guys have heard all
Other
our
movies have
thoughts.
watered down.
You
the
guys
you
aren't
don't
gonna-
care because they don't fucking try. Because they make the decent movie that
Okay.
people care. This movie's a mess, but at least it shoots. It goes for 100 and it gets like
It
70.
gets like a 50.
It's disappointing. It's
It
a
gets more
disappointing
so
movie
at
because
29.
it's
Okay, hold
structurally,
on.
narratively, it's a mess.
It's a bad movie. Okay, okay. We got a D+, a C+, and a B- for a combined rating of what? A C-? A Bodo score of a C-?
I don't know if it's a C
or a C.
No, it's probably a C.
We'll say.
Two of us are above a C minus.
Okay, so yeah. We'll say it's a C, or is it C+?
I feel like it'd be a C.
See how disorganized
I
this
don't know.
this review is? We're just as disorganized as the writing of this movie.
Yeah, Chris
but-
Terrio too much. But now
but
he's
we
gonna just
were
get the
playing
whole movie to make
basketball at
one
the beginning of
score.
our
Yeah, we were
scene.
actually. Yeah, this here we were actually trying to
I was
do
gonna
what
say,
we
I
were
was
doing
off
rather
in the
than just
moment where you
shoving Jolly Ranchers in people's mouths. And
Anyway,
Oh, same
hey,
price. Fine.
we've given our thoughts, we've given our feelings, we laughed,
over.
we cried, we fought,
We literally.
and now it's over. Now you two little bitches are gonna have to stop acting like children. We're gonna end the review.
I'm gonna
So
say,
that
Review's
said-
over. Review's over.
I hope the anime Killing Joke movie coming out in August, starring Mark Hamill as the Joker and Kevin Conroy as Batman, is awesome.
Not gonna
That
make
said-
$1 billion. Who
With
cares?
that, oh yeah, see we got the money guy here. Anyway, with that said,
Warner Bros.
we're all done. We're
I
all
need
done.
your help, Mark Hamill, please. You understand the character.
Suicide Squad's still gonna be great.
Yeah, I hope Suicide Squad's gonna be
If
awesome.
That's
it's not
okay,
like either one
hey.
affects the other.
We're gonna end off by saying to subscribe to his channel and
Do that, yeah.
we'll see you
No
guys
problem
again
about
for
this
Captain America: Civil War.
Yeah!
Because
I
that
think-
will probably be better than this. I
It-
think so.
I could shit at something.
It's
No,
going
I'm
to be a
joking. It wasn't
million
that bad.
times better than this.
No,
It's
but
fine.
it's probably going to be more structurally sound because they're not trying to set up 50
CMA.
billion movies. Hopefully.
Yeah!